Several MAGA Republicans in the House under fire and already backpedaling over this leaked document that sparked all kinds of accusations of racism, even from within their own party leadership. So this document, first obtained by Punchbowl News, describes plans for the creation of an America First caucus, which would protect, and I am quoting, Anglo-Saxon political traditions that strengthen America's culture, while warning that immigration puts America's unique identity at risk. This group initially was reported to have involved Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene, who has been quite controversial for her past on-the-record embrace of all kinds of rhetoric and conspiracy theories. Under pressure, she apologized for some of them or walked them back, as well as including a notorious far-right Arizona Congressman Paul Gosar.
There is an Islamic invasion into our government offices right now.
Rid them of the scourge of these disgusting and depraved individuals. We know these men come from predominantly Pakistani, Bangladeshi, and Muslim backgrounds.
Now, this story, the idea of rallying around this identity stuff, has been moving quickly because Greene's office initially discussed the idea that this so-called Anglo-Saxon caucus would be announced very soon. And Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz, who's been in the news for other reasons, publicly tweeted that he's proud to join this America First caucus, and mentioning he was already worried about or dealing with lies from the America Last crowd. But things are changing quickly. America First is perhaps rhetoric. It can mean different things to different people. But once the draft document was out, once the reference was to European identity, to Anglo-Saxon identity, to some sort of European white caucus organizing itself within the Republican Party in the House, well, that was too much even for the Republican Party in the House, which is really saying something. Republican leader Kevin McCarthy speaking out, talking about how what they need to be about is opportunity, not, and you see this highlighted here, nativist dog whistles. That's your House Republican leader calling out his own out-of-control members. Now Greene has a new statement walking it all back, saying that the leaked document, which I just told you they were publicly talking about announcing, and it's going to be this great big America First party, now they're saying it was a staff-level draft proposal from an outside group. She claims she hasn't read it, and she's out. This whole episode speaks to some deeper rifts within a Republican Party, as we've reported, increasingly struggles to do anything about the losses it was dealt, about any kind of political autopsy, let alone a greater ethical reckoning with the difference between policy positions, sure, debate immigration, and racism and white supremacy, which is a big problem in this country. I want to bring into the conversation now one of our experts. Juanita Tolliver is an MSNBC contributor. We've talked about many issues, Juanita. I'm curious what you think about one part of this that's different, which is either it was so blatant or just so ugly that unlike some other past problems we've reported on, Kevin McCarthy had to get involved and call his own teammates effectively appealing to racist dog whistles to try to tamp it down.
Look, I appreciate McCarthy's tweet, but I don't think it went far enough to demonstrate that this is something that he won't accept. One, he didn't name names. We already know the names of the Congress members who, from within the caucus, who are really ready to push this and drive this forward. I think the second part of it is if he's truly serious, where's the next step in censuring these individuals who are putting out this type of language, who are still committed to purporting and pushing forward an American First agenda that was established, not established, but perpetuated by Trump under his presidency over the past 4 years. That's the other thing that we're seeing, in addition to Marjorie Taylor Greene saying, I didn't read the document. Sure, even if it was a draft, it captures the ethos and sentiment that she's previously spoken on, that she was previously removed from committees for perpetuating. And she went on to tweet, I believe just yesterday, that, sure, she is still committed to this. So I don't think these ideas are going anywhere.
Yeah, and I appreciate you drawing that link. I want to read a little bit from this so people understand, because I go out of my way. I try to be as fair as possible. If people want to debate, for example, lower immigration from all places, that's a policy position, fine. When people start talking about, well, certain immigrants are ruining this country, people who look like this or pray to that, well, now we're not really talking about immigration. We're talking about racism. We're talking about anti-Islam or anti-Semitism or what have you. And so reading here from this so-called draft platform that they were proud of as of Friday, it says, quote, societal trust and political unity are threatened when, quote, foreign citizens are imported en masse into a country. I wonder if you could enlighten us on that, because this is well known to be a country of immigrants, and the now Italian or Irish or other white immigrants don't seem to be what is targeted here, which is why I would argue we have to call it for what it is. It's not about immigration policy.
It's about racism and xenophobia, just like you said, Ari. And back to my previous point, it truly mirrors the same themes that Donald Trump perpetuated with his travel ban in January of January 2017, with him saying shithole countries, referring to African nations and Muslim nations. Like, this continues that same thread, and it's only through this perpetuation of nativism and stoking of, let's be real, fears that I think Republicans have traditionally purported throughout history of this country, that is going to excite a base that we know is there, because Marjorie Taylor Greene, again, saying these things, perpetuating racism, lifting up white supremacy, has raised, what, $3.2 million in her first term as a Congress member. So while she's backing off from it now, there's clearly grassroots support for these ideas that extends from Trump to right now in the Republican Party.
I'm almost out of time, but I got to read you the architecture section. This is where it gets, you know, it's a sad story, but it does get a little Baroque and a little bizarre. The America First folks here, they want infrastructure that reflects the architectural, engineering, and aesthetic value that befits the progeny of European architecture, stunningly, classically beautiful, befitting a world power and source of freedom. Who knew we would end up discussing the conceptions of so-called beauty, Juanita? I give you the final thought.
Conceptions of beauty that apply to architecture and infrastructure, no less, Ari. It's like, okay, make it the white way, the white European standard is the goal here, and that's ridiculous. That's absolutely asinine. And honestly, it's something that I was surprised to see in that document as well, Ari.
Yeah, it's a tell. And some of the intellectual underpinnings are wobbly, but the problems are serious as a heart attack, which is why we wanted to make sure to break it down. Juanita Tolliver, thank you. Hey, I'm Ari Melber from MSNBC. You can see more of our videos right here, or better yet, subscribe to our YouTube channel below. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us, and we appreciate that.